always scare us when you say going live
I
out
love
to the
you.
world.
We got a tie on.
I'm a legend in my own mind.
That's part of the battle, isn't it? Oh. Hey, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? Believe your wife, Ron. Rhonda knows.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Mavis.
Hi, Mavis. This is Tom. Did you get my message?
Yeah, let's talk. Great.
Thank you.
Uh-oh, Bates and Copey, we're in trouble now.
They better turn those mics off now.
I don't care. Like them both.
I just remember the famous Ronald Reagan open mic when he was testing it before one of his speeches.
Yeah.
So he says something like, I've ordered the destruction of the Soviet Union. The bombing begins in 7 minutes.
As a joke? Just as a joke? That was.
Well, they, like they're doing warm up tests. Say something, Mr. President. We'll see if the mic is working.
Oh my God.
And so.
My dad was a colonel in the Army and used to say, treat every gun as if it was loaded. Treat
Yes.
every mic as if it's hot.
I didn't know there was so much sun in Minnesota.
So much what?
Yeah. Hey, you got your home tanning bed though. Yeah.
Anybody want to come volunteer at the recycling day on Saturday? Let me know.
I thought she had enough.
Does
she not have enough?
Well, she thinks she has enough, but we might need more.
Is the recycling including like old, C batteries and things like that?
I've got it. It's in Aurora. It's approved items is like 100 things, batteries, sump pump, power tool, house. Let's see.
This
It
is the
says
hazardous
batteries.
waste? Hazardous
What?
waste?
Yeah,
Mavis?
this is the hazardous waste one.
Yeah.
I just talked to Jen. She said some people will be in hazmat suits.
And it's going to be 90.
It is.
90, really? Oh, I
Yes.
didn't.
Yeah,
90.
That's what
Oh,
you want to think is
God.
a hazmat suit.
no kidding. Being in a sauna.
Yeah.
Well, feast or famine.
I bought a hazmat suit because I was trying to weed poison ivy. I lasted 1 second in that suit. It was so hot. I
Oh,
couldn't.
yeah, think about what the firemen have to wear.
Yeah.
And, then and it's already hot. I mean, that's why they have to pull them, they can't like keep them in there that long.
Wow.
Or they're
Mr.
the
Chair,
ones.
we are ready technology-wise, and your secretary is ready here as well whenever you're ready to begin.
All right, and it is. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ken Shepro. I am the Vice Chairman of the Kane County Board. Madam Chair is engaged in other official business this morning, and therefore asked me to chair the meeting. And I therefore call this meeting of the Kane County Board Executive Committee to order. And will the secretary please call the roll?
Bates,
Here?
Berman,
Berman here.
Ford, Fries,
Here.
Gums, Kenyon,
Here.
Caius,
Caius present.
Martin,
Martin present.
Molina,
Molina present.
Sanchez,
Sanchez here.
Strathman,
Strathman here.
Surges.
Surges here.
Tepe,
Tepe here.
Shepro.
Shepro here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today is the 2nd of June and the time appointed for our meeting of the Executive Committee. Mr. Kenyon, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of the
United States of America and to the
To the
republic
republic
for which it stands,
under God,
one God, indivisible, with
with
liberty,
liberty and justice for
justice
all.
for all.
That's so hard
We're
to
gonna have
do.
to
on
work
Zoom.
on our
We're gonna have to
coordination.
work on that a little bit. All right, so today, June 2nd, famous birthdays include former astronaut Pete Conrad, Martha Washington, and most important of all, my dear wife, Maureen.
Charlie Watts from the Rolling Stones.
All
He's
right.
80-year-old today.
Yes, and the Marquis de Sade. On this date in history, on June 2nd, 1865, the last Confederate Army in the field surrendered at Galveston, Texas, ending the land portion of the Civil War. All right. May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the May 5th Executive Committee meeting?
Berman move.
Moved by Berman, second.
Caius second.
Second by Caius. Are there any additions, corrections, comments, or observations? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Bates,
Yes,
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Gums, Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. All right, this time of the meeting, we are open for public comment, subject to the rules and limitations in the governor's emergency proclamation and the rules of this board. Are there any public comments from any person present in the room? Those of you present in the room will have to tell me if there look like there are any. If not, are there any comments that have been submitted in writing? Karen, have you received any written comments?
No.
All right. Are there any comments from any person online who wishes to be heard at this point? And if so, you please indicate to, how do we have them indicate if they're
There are no members of the public online.
There are no members of the public online, therefore public comment is closed. Next item are the monthly financials. Director Onzik, can you review the monthly report, please?
Good morning. The budget versus actual report for the county board budgets are included in the packet. It's a relatively simple report. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them. Otherwise, there are no updates since the finance report that was delivered last week to the finance committee.
All right, any questions for Director Onzik? All right, if not, I would ask unanimous consent to place the April Executive Committee financial report on file. And without objection, it is so ordered. Old business, is there any old business? New business, is there any new business? Mr. Martin.
Yes, we do have an item of new business. I think we all received, excuse me, a proposed resolution prepared by Mr. Van Kerkhoff relative to our agreement to accept a state grant to assist in funding our demolition of dangerous structures project. And I think we've had a good explanation of those at the Development Committee level. Just in one broad statement, we seeded that fund to deal with difficult properties from the riverboat, and it has been basically self-sustaining, and we've received grants, and now we're receiving another grant, which will further secure that we don't have to use taxpayer dollars, Kane County taxpayer dollars, to fund that program. So we can't vote on that today because it wasn't on the agenda, but I would ask the unanimous consent of this committee to move this forward to the full board. We have a demand of the state, I'll refer to it as an expectation, that we pass a resolution accepting this by June 9th. So it has to be on on this next board regular meeting. So as I say, I would ask that we have unanimous consent from this committee to move forward the acceptance of the grant from the state of Illinois.
Mr. Martin, having asked for unanimous consent to move this forward, is there any objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered and will be forwarded to the county board agenda. All right, thank you. Any other new business? Hearing none, the next item is the preliminary county board agenda for June 8th, including the consent agenda. And at this time, I would call upon Administration Chairman Caius to present the item under that committee. Mr. Caius.
Thank you. Mr. Vice President, okay, my name is Chris Caius. This is came from our administration committee, is a designation for space for Deborah L. Bree Memorial Garden at Kane County Child Advocacy Center. Do we have someone to speak on that?
Morning.
Please identify yourself.
I will. I'm Kelly Orland. I'm an assistant state's attorney here in Kane County. And I can just briefly explain to you what it is that we're asking for. We lost a member of our state's attorney family last August. Deborah was 45 and she succumbed to colon cancer. She was the director of our Child Advocacy Center, and she had dedicated her almost 20-year career of prosecuting to advocating on behalf of children. And one of the things that she had always wished for was that there would be some sort of a garden, outdoor garden area to reflect at the Child Advocacy Center, kind of in contrast to what goes on inside the walls of the Child Advocacy Center and the topics that they deal with there. And it would be a place for visitors to the Advocacy Center, whether it be children themselves or their family members, to sit and reflect and have a moment of peace. And so in her honor, we would like to now designate some area, an area there at the Child Advocacy Center where we can create a garden for her. We have already received a bid for that, as well as we have received all the donations. There's no financial impact at all to the county as it relates to that space. And so we're just asking for the designation for that space at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I
Thank
don't.
you,
Does this
Mr. Caius.
This need moved?
First, yeah, why don't you go ahead and move it?
Okay, then I will move that we designate the space for Deborah L. Bree Memorial Garden at Kane County Child Advocacy Center.
Is there a second?
Second. By Mr.
Seconded
Kenyon.
by Mr. Kenyon. Mr. Caius, this seems like the sort of resolution that the full board, we would normally have the explanation that Ms. Orland just gave. Would it be your intent perhaps then to have this on the 8th taken off consent for the purpose of those comments? I think it's important that, minute be spent or more explaining what the reason behind this designation.
I think it's absolutely worthy of that further discussion and enlightenment.
All right. At this point, I guess I would suggest we move it on, and then Mr. Caius on the 8th can then remove it for the purpose of a brief explanation.
I'd be happy to do that. I'd be honored.
All right. Thank you. All right. Any other discussion? If not, will the clerk please call the roll?
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries. All right, next item is county development. Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Further to the point made earlier on our moving forward the acceptance of a grant, we are processing the application to the court to begin demolition of a dangerous or unsafe building located in Aurora Township. So I move that and request a second.
Molina,
Surges.
seconds.
Moved by Martin, seconded by Molina. Is there any discussion? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford, Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries. Executive, item 1 and 2 are similar. They are appointments of members to the Board of Review. Obviously, since the assessments are out, it's important to have this at full strength. The names are in background are in your packet. I would move that 1 and 2 together without objection and ask for a second to approve. And
Martin, seconds.
seconded by Berman. Any other discussion? Otherwise, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries. Next item is authorizing agreements for Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act and Trade Adjustment Act programs for program year 2021.
Mr.
Is
Chairman?
there- Yes,
I can take this item. It usually comes through our Jobs Committee. If you
yes,
want me
please
to.
do.
Okay. This is just a
Please,
follow-up.
for the record, state your name.
Okay, I'm
Ron.
sorry. This is Ford.
Thank you.
This-
Please proceed.
Thank you. This is through the Workforce Development. This is just a follow-up. Last month, we passed the first part of this. So this is just a follow-up with our housekeeping for Workforce Development. This is second half of the contract.
All right. Are there any, would you like to move then item 3?
Yeah, I'd like to move this item.
All right. Moved by Ford. Is there a second?
Strathman, seconds.
Strathman seconds. Any discussion? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries. Mr. Surges, would you present item 4, please?
Item 4 is appointing an interim executive director of Human Resource Management Department. Jamie Labrillo will be asked to fill that role for us for a 3 to 4 month term while we're letting some dust settle and evaluating the needs of the department. So I motion, yes.
Mr. Surges moves. Is there a second?
Martin, seconds.
Martin seconds. Any discussion? Not, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman,
you.
if I may,
Yes.
if I could just point out, Jamie's in the room right now, and I just wanted to say that I know that there's a course of action and a series of events that we have to take at the board level, but that doesn't stop the workflow at the department level that goes on. And Jamie has stepped up with the assistance of Mr. Onzik in helping keeping the department running. And Jamie, just a hearty thank you for rolling up your sleeves and helping out while we're working through the process.
I'm sure
Thank you,
we
sir.
all join in that sentiment. Thank you, and thank you for being here today. All right, next is Finance and Budget, Mr. Berman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 12 items. I would like to take them all together. If there's one you'd like, one or more that you'd like to select out to discuss or do separately, please let me know. Mr. Martin?
I have a question. I'm supporting number 2 relative to the money that we're using to fund the town hall meetings. Does anybody know what we have spent or are spending that money on? I don't think
I thought we had approved $5,000.
we approved 5. What are we paying for court reporters? I didn't know what the money was for.
I don't know that.
I believe the resolution itemizes categories, including, I guess, additional contract personnel. But yeah, it does not say who or what they are or provide a breakdown.
Okay, I forgot the additional contract personnel part of it, so
Yeah.
I'll let it rest.
Any other comments, any? Then I move that we approve items 1 through 12 on our consent agenda.
Is
Mark?
there I'm going to vote no on item 2. So if the movement would accept that to approve items 1 and 3 through 12.
Yes, make that
And
motion.
I'll ask for a second for that.
Board will second that.
Ford seconds. Any other discussion or questions? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes, motion carries. Mr. Berman, do you have a motion with respect to item 2?
We have a motion. You're making a motion, or
No, I'm asking if you have
All
then a further motion with respect to item 2.
I will make a motion to approve item 2.
All right, is there a second?
Tepe seconds.
Tepe seconds. Any other discussion? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
No.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, no. So this will be moved forward off consent.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is it possible to get a copy to read? I keep only hearing innuendos on what this is, and I'd love to hear more about what your objection is, but without having the document.
Mr. Surges, I agree with you. That's why I'm not really discussing it. I'm hopeful that we can obtain some additional documentation about this before the 8th, and in that case, perhaps it will go without any further discussion.
Let me restate my question. I'd like
Yes.
documentation. Let me change it to a statement. I'd like documentation so I know what I'm voting on before this is called again.
The chair agrees with you
Attached to the county
and,
board agenda?
It was attached to this.
yeah.
Perfect. I don't know why I'm not pulling stuff up.
Yeah, well, the documentation though is simply saying, I think, what was recited when Mr. Martin asked his question, which is,
Commissioner Sanchez just helped me out, and I think I have what I need. Thank you.
all right, very good. All right, anything further from finance, Mr. Berman?
No, that's the extent of it. Thank you very much.
All right, well, Mr. Surges, you're warmed up and ready to go. Human Services is next.
My understanding, Jamie, if I can on this, have we been asked to table this?
Yes, and I had a conversation with Madam Chair yesterday and concurs in that. So, Mr. Surges, is there a motion to table this?
Since there's no discussion
Or
during,
just go back to committee?
Mr. Chairman, since there's no discussion during tabling, if I can just say that I
Yeah.
believe the copy was emailed out and the delay is that we asked each, a completed plan should be submitted to the Human Services Committee of the Kane County Board from each department, and I just don't believe we have all of those in. Am I correct on that?
That was what I understood from talking with Madam Chair. And therefore,
Let's let Jamie, Ken, if we can let Jamie just chime in just for a
sure,
minute.
absolutely.
I was just going to agree with what he said. That's what Madam Chair had suggested, that we get feedback from all the departments prior to putting this to the next step.
And I realize the goal was to have this enacted today. But if we don't have the plans in from everybody, I don't know how we do that. So if we can light a fire so that by next month this is going. And Ken, are we asking them to return this to committee?
Well,
Or can we
I
just
guess
table it
I
to the
would,
next exec?
I would defer to you. I mean, we could either postpone it to the July Executive Committee meeting, or we could send it back to your committee. Obviously, if it went back to your committee, it could still be on the executive agenda for July. I guess my suggestion, and it's only a suggestion, would be that given the comments and perhaps board members on the committee will have questions when the individual executive directors submit their comments, seems to me it would make more sense to send it back to a committee.
Raz has a comment.
Yes, Fraz, Mr. Drew?
Yeah, Drew, Drew Fraz speaking. I'm just concerned, we're talking about July to get this done. I mean, we were hoping to maybe reopen in May or June. And now because of this technicality, we're going to talk about it for another month. I oppose tabling this.
All right.
Drew, Mr. Chairman, Surges, if I can?
Yes.
Drew, I have no problem passing this subject to those coming in. I don't know why there would be a delay on this. Let's move this resolution forward, and then as those particular plans come in from each department, they can be reviewed and instituted. I don't know why we would.
Martin joins in that thought too. Just move it
All right.
forward.
My only question is that my understanding is, without it, based on comments from others, that the different executive directors have different ideas about, what their department should do.
Why haven't we been talking about this for the last 8 weeks?
You're asking the wrong person there, Mr. Fraz.
Mr. Chair.
All right. All right. Well, there is.
Mr. Martin?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Can Martin make a comment?
Yes.
I'm going to guess that nobody's going to second guess what the department heads do when they submit the plans. So if we authorize moving ahead contingent upon a department filing a plan before they reopen, then we're done, are we not?
Which
Or does the
seems
committee
so.
intend to comment on the plans? And then I see the head shaking of the
Yeah.
chairman of the committee. So why don't we just approve, why don't we consider approving it and just saying that the department's open at a point in time when their department head or can provide the plan that they're implementing that complies with the necessary regulations.
So is that Mr. Sturgis, is that a motion on your part? And a
Let
second
me,
by Mr. Martin?
could I defer to Jamie for one more last comment?
Certainly.
I just wanted to make one more comment that went into part of the decision to possibly table it. With all the recent changes in guidance regarding mask wearing that came from the CDC, OSHA and ADA, they have not caught up with their workplace guidance. And as we are seeking to make sure that we're compliant with the CDC and the OSHA workplace guidance, it would help to wait, and it may take a week or two to get them to update that guidance following the new changes. And part of the reason to continue this would be to receive that guidance and make sure that our plan is supportive of the guidance they have.
Question, Sturgis?
Yes, Mr. Sturgis.
If this was passed, Jamie, is there any reason why we couldn't continue to modify or go to the next iteration? If we continue to move this line, we could be doing this in November, for crying out loud, you know?
It is a bit of a moving target. So we did try to build a little flexibility into the reopening plan to allow for changes as guidance changes. I just wanted to add that that was one of the thoughts behind waiting.
Mr.
I would consider, and you know what, just for
Mr.
the sake of
Sturgis.
expediency, you know, I motion to move this forward if there's a second.
Second by Fraz.
Second by Fraz. Any discussion? I would just comment that all we're doing is forwarding it to the board agenda. And if there is some additional reason not to take action, that could be done on the 8th. So is there any further discussion?
Sanchez here.
Yes, Jared.
I'm almost tempted to suggest we amend it right now just to get ahead of the guidance that will come from OSHA and other institutions. But I think, you know, next week at county board, we can decide on that action then if necessary. That might just solve the problem there.
I think that makes sense, but as many of you have commented, we would like to see, I think that's an excellent idea, and hopefully there could be an amendment circulated earlier than the 8th, the day of the meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Martin.
I just, with all due respect to everybody in the room, I think we're spending a lot of time here counting angels on the head of a pin.
That's my specialty.
And I didn't mean to use a legal term. What if we simply move this forward and say that they have to comply with applicable regulations, then I think we've got the ball covered. And if more regulations come in, we'll comply with them. That's what we do. So if we just say applicable regulations, I think we're going to all go nuts if we try to wait for the federal and the state government to give us a final reading on what we need to do here.
Is that a suggestion for a amendment to the motion?
Well, if the amendment would be that they will open and need to file a report that applies with then current applicable federal and state regulations, that would be my proposed amendment.
Jamie, did you
Mr.
get all that? Are you
Sturgis,
ready?
is that
Yes, I got it
acceptable
down.
to you
That is acceptable to me.
and to the seconder?
Fraz seconds.
All right. Then is there any further discussion?
Question, please.
Yes, Ms.
So-
Bates.
Thank you. So did we decide to leave it up to the directors of each department, how they will do this? I think that's what does this indicate?
Each director will submit a plan back to Human Services.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other further questions or comments? If not, the question is on the motion as agreed to be amended. If there's no further discussion, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fraz,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Legislative. Michelle Gums, are you here?
Michelle is not here this morning. This is Cheryl Strathman.
Ms. Strathman, do you have an item to present then?
Just what is on the agenda, where we are asking for modifications to Governor Pritzker's bill on consumer and climate first aid. We know that Springfield was busy late into the wee hours, and they are still working on a couple of items, but I have nothing else to present.
So is this still a timely and relevant action, or did they do something that we would have to rethink what the request is?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Cheryl.
No, go ahead, Mavis.
Okay, the big energy bill did not reach the floor on May 31st, but there may be a special session to take it back up, so this is still relevant.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? So is there, Ms. Strathman moves to approve. Is there a second?
Bates, second.
Bates seconds. Any further discussion? If not, Secretary, please call the roll.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius,
yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Parenthetically, as you know, there was a lot of legislative activity on Sunday and Monday. I believe a lot of people are still reading all the fine print, but the bill that affects our county redistricting is Senate Bill 825, which did pass both houses. I think it's 156 pages. And if you know how to get to the Illinois General Assembly website, you can read it. I think from what I can tell, they are still working on synopses, but it appears to address almost all of the concerns that this board had expressed previously. All right, judicial public safety. Ms. Molina.
Good morning, everyone. We have one resolution that I'd like to move back to committee. We've received some requests from our Wayne Township officials, and I believe Mr. Shepard could discuss it more, but I'd really just like to make a motion now to move this back to committee for further committee work.
Is there a second?
Berman, second.
Berman seconds. I will just say that at the Judicial Public Safety meeting, a number of questions were raised about, why and how and so forth. And I couldn't answer any of them because I didn't know anything about what the village was doing. I will just say that I've had some discussions with some members of the Wayne Village Board, and among other things, it doesn't appear that the village board has taken action on this. And our normal procedure would be, if the county is requested to enter into an agreement, we would expect to have the approval of that agreement before us. And so our action is the last action. So I thank Chairman Molina for her motion. And if there is no other discussion, I would ask the clerk to call the roll. The motion is to return to the Judicial Public Safety Committee.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges,
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes, and personally, I thank you for your agreement to do so. All right, Transportation, Mr. Fries.
Yeah, Fraz speaking. Mr. Chairman, I have 9 items. I'd like to move all 9.
Martin
Is there
seconds.
a second? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the second.
Martin seconds.
Martin seconds. Is there any objection to considering all 9 items as a single motion? And second, hearing none, are there any questions or comments regarding any of the items? Again, hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries. Anything further, Mr. Fries?
Nope, that's it.
All right, thank you. Riverboat, Mr. Caius.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In this resolution, you have the items that were nominated and selected to receive the appropriations from the Riverboat funds. And so I move that they are in the attached agenda item.
Sanchez seconds.
Sanchez
Motion by Mr. Caius, seconded by Mr. Sanchez. Is there any discussion?
I would just like to comment, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
This Caius continues, that it was, naturally, we've had a less money to distribute from the gambling vote this year, so it was a tough decision to divide the money up as equitably as possible, and I'd like to thank the committee once we got our math together, and I reviewed my math skills again, we were able to come to the conclusions and that we have in this this item. And I'd like to thank the board members, the committee chairman, committee members, and also the staff who worked with us very diligently. Scott Berger and Chris Dahl, who helped us get through this. So that's my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Caius. I had the occasion to sit in on some, but not all of the meetings, and I would commend you, Mr. Chair, and the committee members for a really very thorough discussion of all items, and I believe that the ultimate recommendation was unanimous from the committee. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. So again, thank you for your work. Is there any further discussion? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Yes, and this was a good job. Thank you.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fries,
Yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Surges, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Caius. I have not been informed of any need for a closed session. Is there any request for a closed session?
I have a
Hearing
committee
none.
report.
Yes, hold on. Are there any committee reports?
I want to remind you all, this is June and it's Dairy Month, and I found a quote on my phone I like. At least once in your life, you'll need a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman, and a preacher. But 3 times a day, you'll need a farmer. Each.
Thank you for that
I'll give you that
report from the
Question.
Agriculture Committee.
Question, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Tepe here.
Mr. Tip. Yes.
Mr. Kenyon, what days do you have available for lunch?
Is that to eat
Tomorrow
lunch
and
or to
Friday.
deliver lunch? All right, Mr. Kenyon, do you have a motion?
I'll move we adjourn and get on the trail.
All right, is there a second?
Berman,
Hey, second.
All right, Karen, pick somebody who seconded. I can't see if there's
you.
a
Well
cacophony of seconds. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? No. Motion
It was not
carries.
record time.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. And we will see you at Mr. Kenyon's for